Okay,
So we show the slide.
Okay, so hi, I'm Olivia. This is
Ling.
And Luna.
My name is Moongyang Cho.
Yes. So we're the Melbourne part of the group 13. So now you guys introduce yourselves as well.
So hello, my name is Stone. I'm in Sarong campus, and I'm in group 13 too.
Hello everyone, I'm Thuy and I'm a part of Vietnamese group.
Hello everyone, I'm In. because I can show face a little bit slide.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll start off our presentation, which is this one. So we're in group 13, and should we read your button?
The purpose of this project is providing proper recommendations to Marathon Corporation. Marathon Corporation is a manufacturing company that produces flash drives. Recently, the net profit has decreased over the past years, and for the 2019, we wish to achieve a net profit of 150,000. To achieve this figure, four suggestions have been made by managers from the company and the president. We will figure out what recommendation will help to achieve the net profit for the company.
Okay, so for the first question, we will use the high-low method to clarify the overhead cost. So we take the highest amount of the cost, 495,000, minus the lowest cost, 375,000. Then we have the number. Then we divided the change of the highest point and the lowest point in quantity, and it's equal to the variable cost per unit is equal to 3. Then, finally, we need to apply the cost equation in order to calculate the fixed cost. It equal to 225,000 for the fixed cost overhead. Then we move to the next slide in order to show that the difference of the classification of cost. Olivia, can you turn on the slide?
Yeah, I've done that. Can't you see it?
No, I cannot see that.
Should have the slides on there. I don't know. Oh, present to everyone. Sorry.
Don't worry.
That's not what we're doing. Can you not see it still?
No, I cannot see it still.
Must have been. Can you see it now?
Now I can see it. Yeah, okay. Now I can see it now. So as you can see on the slide that the direct material, direct labor, and the commission, advertising, and the variable overhead costs are the variable costs. So other things are the fixed costs. So these costs will be a part of the contribution income statement, while the period cost and the product cost, we divide into two. The product cost is initially recorded within the inventory asset. Therefore, the product costs are direct material, direct labor, and allocated factory overhead. Others are the period costs, and these costs will be calculated in the traditional income statement. So move to the next one, that in this slide, we calculate the CVP analysis. This slide is talking about the CVP analysis. So in order to calculate, we have to understand what is the CVP analysis for. The CVP analysis is about the planning process that the manager uses to predict the future volume of the activities, cost incurred, sale made, and the profit sale received. In this case, the contribution margin is 460,000, which means every unit we sell contribute to 22.22% for the sales revenue. However, the fixed cost is too high that the selling price cannot be offset. Furthermore, the company needs to sell at least for 162 and 500 units in order to achieve its target income, that is $150,000.
Move to next slide, please.
These are the income statement that has been made for the projection of 2019. If 115,000 units are sold at $18, we use the contribution margin, outline the variable cost and fixed cost to create the net income for the company, rather than the traditional method, which will produce the same net profit but outline the expense as cost of goods sold and other expense. The contribution margin will help us to find what expense we can decrease to maximize the profits. We can see that the variable costs are equal to more than half the sales that are projected. If the company wishes to achieve profit, it is to find an inefficient way to decrease these or a way to increase revenue.
Now we will look at manager suggestion to discuss in what scenario will be better for the companies. Next slide, please. What if we increase the rise by 50% and decreasing the expected sales volume by 30%? Here the change of input data compared to the current company performance. As we already saw how to set up the income statement in reverse part, this is our income statement, the right table. Next slide, please. Another consideration is that if the company increase the sales salary by 50% and raising the sales volume by 30%, so the question is it better than the scenario one? The answer is yes. Please, next slide, please. Let's move to the CVV graph. The red point indicates the break-even point for the companies. Both scenarios show the company is the safety curve, which means the company standing is higher than the point the unit company must sell out. However, they have to increase their sales in the scenario one to achieve their target. Next slide, please. The contribution margin per ratio of scenario one is 2.324. That's amount in scenario two is 0.222. What is telling us here? This means every dollar the company sells in the scenario one will contribute 0.104 cents more than the scenario two in the profit. Next slide, please. About the percentage change in output of manager suggestion with the current performance. Both scenarios can help the company gain profits, but it is not as much as they expected. The total fixed cost for B is higher than the 4A, means the probability of taking risk is higher.
Continuing on with the what-if analysis, we had a look at what would happen if the increase in direct materials and factory overhead and causing an increase in sales would have on the profit. Unfortunately, this had a negative impact as it increased the net loss by $125, and the contribution margin has also increased by $2,875. Overall, this suggestion would require more profit to reach, more units sold to reach profit. As we can see, to reach break-even point, we would need to sell 186,571, and we are currently 11,440 units short of making the break-even point. The product manager has also suggested if we increase the quality of the flash drivers, this would increase the sale volume and also the selling price. But within doing so, it also increases our total variable costs, our factory overhead, and our advertising expenditures. This does cause the company to make profit, but it is at such a low value of $9,600 that it's more likely that the company would prefer to go with option A or B. As we can see in this graph, the break-even point is below what we're making, but it's still very close that the company would probably prefer going with a different option.
In conclusion, it is clear that the suggestions from sales manager and president are more effective than the suggestions from production manager and engineer, as the recommendation from president can lead to 39,350 of net profit, and the suggestion from sales manager can reach up to 49,500, whereas the product engineer's suggestion that can make 40,000 of net loss. Also, under the situation following production manager's opinion, Marathon Corporation can make only 9,600 of net profit. However, at the film wants 150,000 of net profit, it is necessary to find another recommendations to make more net income.
So at the fourth scenario, we indicate the variable the fixed cost at too high when the price is only $18. This means each product must be sold at least $4.35 per unit to offset the fixed cost. Next slide, please. The column 1 shows the current company performance. It states that the company could make the profit. However, the company dubbed the expense too high, posing the loss situation. So our solution is try to combine each one scenario. Next slide, please. Let's move to the crisis. The first priority is the profit. That is the reason why we decided to choose for A and for B. About the for C and for D, require this company sell more units, but the company still cannot get profit or even achieve break-even point. So next slide, please. So we decided to increase the price by 15% and the sales salary by 50%, which the volume salary remains constant. Putting this change into the sheet, the net profit goes up $222,000. It's much better than manager suggestion. Although the sale required to get the target net profit amount of company show, but it's still high. Recommendation 1. We recommend for the company to have more strategies to boost sales by increasing the in advertising per unit or commission, so that the company not only can promote the sale but also increase the contribution margin. The company can also reduce the fixed costs such as miscellaneous selling expense or general expense by 10%. Following this change, the net profit could higher than the previous recommendation, and the sale required to get the target net profit now is just equal to nearly 100,000 units. Next slide, please. Moving to the graph of percentage change between two recommendations.
all the factors affect the decision of second solution is better. It seems to be better than saving the expense and reducing the total fixed cost as much as possible. This is the end of our presentation. Thank you for listening.
So is it okay now?
Yeah, so we'll start presenting that. So I think that's everything. So we'll say goodbye and thank you for watching.